Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
This is the Preparedness Radio Network, preparing you for natural and man-made disasters. Helpful tips on gardening and homesteading. Be prepared. And remember, preparedness saves lives. This is the Preparedness Radio Network. Survival is not about the end of the world. It's not about a hypothetical plane crash or the latest violent storm. Survival is about the satisfaction of knowing you can take care of yourself and your family in any situation, anytime, anywhere. CampingSurvival.com was started in 1956. No, not the .com part, the survival part. CampingSurvival.com has over 17,000 urban, wilderness, and preparedness items, supreme customer service, very low shipping, and no games. We look around to make sure we have the lowest prices, and CampingSurvival.com is 100% USMC veteran-owned. Don't base your survival on the latest spring-up-on-the-internet company. Do business with an authority on survival. CampingSurvival.com. Confidence born on preparation. Order today and use the promo code E2E for an additional 5% off your order. Did you know that several major European countries are at risk of defaulting on their financial obligations? The U.S. economy will suffer substantially if this happens. Inflation is getting worse, and with a European default, hyperinflation is very possible. If hyperinflation occurs, store shelves will be empty within days and food prices will skyrocket. Will you be able to feed your family when hyperinflation hits? BuyEmergencyFoods.com offers the best kind of emergency food, Legacy Premium, with the largest variety available in the freeze-dried food industry. Each meal is packaged for freshness in individual nitrogen-flushed Mylar pouches. The meal pouches are then sealed in stackable heavy-duty plastic containers that are easy to store, easy to transport, and won't be damaged by water or rodents. So, if you're worried about food inflation, economic crisis, unemployment, or natural disasters, then don't delay and prepare your family now. Buy your emergency food supply today. Disasters happen. Don't get fooled into thinking that they can't happen to you. Order today and use the promo code E2E and get free shipping and 5% off on every item.
If everything you eat comes out of boxes stored in your freezer, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo. If you're afraid to take out your own garbage because the neighbor kids might beat you up, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
Over 50 free training classes are coming to the Self-Reliance Expo at the Hickory Convention Center Friday, September 14th and Saturday, September 15th. Gardening, alternative home building, off-grid living, food preservation, cooking with the sun, self-defense classes, canine demos, and more.
If you can kill a houseplant just by looking at it, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
This event is fun for the whole family and is the largest of its kind in the nation. Learn how to do it yourself. Learn how to defend yourself. Save money, save a life.
If the only screwdriver you own is made of orange juice and vodka, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
It's the Self-Reliance Expo at the Hickory Convention Center Friday, September 14th and Saturday, September 15th. Go to selfrelianceexpo.com for information and tickets.
This is Adam Francis, and you're listening to the Equip2Endure podcast. Your source for outdoor-related gear testing, reviewing, survival training, industry news, and interviews. You guys be safe, and remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared. If you have questions for the Equip2Endure podcast, you can call us at 347-326-9604. That's 347-326-9604. It is August 23rd, 2012. My name is Adam Francis. You listen to the Equip2Endure podcast, and we're ready to have a great show tonight. Mr. Robert Oliver. Robbie, how you doing?
Man, I really like the way you start with so much conviction in your voice.
Let's make it happen. Speak with confidence now.
I'm doing great, Adam. And you?
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. You know, it's the day started off pretty rough, but I think it's going to end well. So that's where we go. And then back from the dead, he actually chased a squirrel last week and got hit by a bus, Mr. Joe Flowers.
It was not a bus; it was a bulldozer moving at a very fast rate.
How are you doing today, Joe?
I am doing excellent, and I feel the conviction in your voice has therefore pushed me to have some in mind too.
Awesome. Well, guys, we have a great show today. We'll have. We have Mr. Southern Prepper 1 on the show today, also known as David Kobler, and he'll be on here talking about some great stuff. Of course, he owns Practical Preppers, and also he has a great YouTube channel. He's a fellow YouTuber, and of course, he's one of the brains behind Doomsday Prepper. He's a consultant for that show, very popular show on Natgeos, so we'll have a great conversation today and lots of good stuff. Ain't that right, Robbie?
That is correct, sir.
All right, so what's new? Let's go on. Joe, what's going on with you first? You got plans for this weekend, right?
Yes, I'm going to be doing the Carolina Bushcraft class going on this weekend.
Awesome.
It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be bringing down a whole slew of bushcraft gear, probably all of it, if I can fit it, and talking about bushcraft stuff.
You just have a shelf in your house that just says bushcraft gear. Is it labeled?
Robbie, do I have a shelf?
Adam, if I had, I can't even go there. I mean, I tell you what, dude, just the machete aisle, and yes, I said aisle, it is amazing by itself at Joe's house.
Joe, you are a madman. You're a madman.
And I don't know how to clean my room, too, so my mom will continue yelling at me every time they come visit.
Awesome.
Hey, I was just thinking with the conviction in her voice, and this is completely off topic, but I just want to get all the fans to work with me here. Who thinks that we should have a Halloween podcast special where for the at least first 30 minutes, Adam, Robbie, and I have to act like Spartans? And just scream and yell the entire time.
But I'm not dressing up like a Spartan.
No, well, unless you want to do a video podcast, which I do not approve of. But
why don't we just come to podcast on our Halloween character? How about that?
Exactly, that's what I meant. We do it as a character. And other news, to get off that last tangent, I met my goal for Amazon 5000.
All right, congratulations, Joe.
It is absolutely 100% official that I am going in October.
You hear that, Robbie? We get a break from Joe for a whole month.
I hear that somebody much prettier than me is going to be the guest host.
Well, hey, you can't release that yet, man. That's still G14 classified.
I know. I'm not even going to say who. Just they look better than me, which really doesn't leave you that much to go with. Most people are.
So, Robbie, what do you got going on this weekend? Any good classes? Any dog stuff happening?
Actually, no, I don't. This weekend is really slow, Adam. In a couple weeks, I do have a North Carolina or Eastern North Carolina Preppers meeting to go to, and I'm very excited about that. I just recently joined that organization, and I'm kind of excited.
Awesome. Well, we got some plans thus far. I think my cousin is coming up. She's a surgical PA, so she does a lot of, and she also does a lot of wilderness medicine stuff. We're going to go out in the field. Our cameraman, Mark, I think my buddy Ryan, we're going to go out there and we're going to work on our primitive camp and shoot a couple of videos. Should be some great stuff. Speaking of videos, we had some really good ones that came out this last week. First off, you guys know that we're big supporters of Paws and Stripes. Jim Stanek and Lindsay Stanek, they're out and really pushing hard for our disabled vets with PTSD and TBI. And we posted a great video of Jim doing a speech at the Self-Reliance Expo in Arlington, Texas last month. Really good stuff. We posted it up there a couple days ago, guys, so check that out. If you haven't donated to Paws and Stripes, please check out the organization. They're doing something phenomenal. And like I said many, many times, for a tenth of a cost that the government pays for a service animal for these disabled vets, they can train the animal and the service member and save the dog from the pound. So check that out. Also, we had a little recall action on the old Bear Grylls Parang. Robbie, you want to start on that one? A little laceration hazard?
Yeah, let's see. The short answer. Gerber made some junk, put a guy's name on it, sold a bunch of them. Now they're breaking in people's hands and cutting up their hands. Did I get the gist of it, Adam? I don't want
a little
to
bit
details.
Now, and let's be fair right now. We rarely, if not ever, never, do a negative review on something. All right, if something...
Yeah, we just don't have time.
Yeah, well, yeah, because, I mean, there's so much good stuff out there that we want to focus on and bring to you folks out there when we do our gear tests and reviews. But if something is flying off the shelves and it presents a hazard, we like to notify the public. And we've had so many requests for this Bear Grylls stuff. You know, we did our own test and review, and, you know, it's not a very solid blade. And now you have these things breaking in half. Basically, right where the blade meets the handle, it's breaking. When people are chopping and it's a laceration hazard, I know there's at least one person that's confirmed lacerations, and there's several people that have reported the breaks. Now, Joe, you've had one of these, and you've not really had any problems, haven't you?
No, I hadn't seen it. I knew that was going to be some place that I'd worry about because that hole right there is so close to the top of the.
Yeah, I remember you said something to me about that at practice you preached a few years ago when you were prototyping one, or you were testing one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a prototype. I just pulled it off the shelf at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's one thing. I didn't have any problems with it, but I could see it being a failure after multiple smacks.
As a master machete and parang designer yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely. No. They got these crazy machines out there that pick up a machete or an axe, and it measures the amount of times it hits something before it fails. And, you know, that's what a lot of these places, a lot of axe manufacturers and some other places use. And I'd like to put that one that I have in that machine and see what happens.
So for the same price, you can go buy a Village Parang from Condor, and that thing is indestructible.
Right, absolutely.
So
just for clarification, I own 2 Gerber blades. I'm not mad at Gerber.
Yeah, I own
junk they made with Bear Grylls' name on it.
I own several Gerber blades, and one of my favorite multi-tools is a Gerber diesel. I don't have any problem with Gerber as long as it's stamped Portland, Oregon on the side of the blade. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I got my Gerber diesel that, you know, is in my everyday. If I go to your house, you know, 600 miles away, or if I go to the grocery store down the street, that diesel goes with me. I've also got a Gerber Kiss knife, Adam, that I carry every day in my pocket as a money clip. So a Gerber rides with me pretty much all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys remember the LMF? Man, that was an awesome knife. I got one from Scotty a while back and loved it.
I've always been mad at them, Joe, for not making the LMF with no serrations.
Yeah, I agree. But let's move on. How to build a primitive camp for wilderness survival, part 2. You guys were enjoying that video, so check that out. We're having a good time. That's going to be a long-term project, kind of working on sustainment camp. Now, this works for multiple reasons. Not only does it get a chance to go out there and practice your primitive skills, confidence building, it's fun, and let me tell you, you learn to value your shelters and how to construct your shelters. Let's put it that way. There's some catch dog training videos on the well, actually, it's open to everybody on the website, but it's a website exclusive only. The Dogwood Custom Knives and Cub set, the Grizzly and Cub set, test and review from Dogwood Custom Knives, Dan Eastland, awesome stuff.
Good people.
He is good people. We got a couple of his blades. Northern Bushcraft Survival Tool winner, and we'll have that shipped out to the winner here really soon. And then, of course, the Morris Kahansky interviews, part 1 and part 2. Joe, I didn't mean to put those videos out on the same day. That was
you got to savor them, man.
No, man. I'm going to kick myself in the head. But anyway, Joe, that was...
Right, I got about, 2 more hours.
That's awesome. Those were some awesome videos, man. How was talking to Morris?
It was wonderful. I mean, he just goes from one subject to the next, and you're not even completely gelling in all the stuff you just learned from the last one. And already he's throwing all these new informations at you, and your head's just like, oh, my gosh, I can't take it. It's Morris Kahansky. He's talking to me, etc. Not really. But he's really, really presentable. You just go walk up and talk to him, and it's such a cool guy.
Yeah. You know what's funny? He must frustrate the crap out of the super knife guys because he's so humble about, all you need is a Zamora. All you need is, if you have a good axe and a good saw, knife is just whatever. And it's so funny, and that's so anti where the culture is right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he was talking about making them out of hockey sticks.
Yeah, using the handle from hockey sticks to make his scales for his knife. Because
the dimensions were already there. You didn't have to grind it.
That's awesome, man.
Well, Adam, I think that same perspective he uses for other things that I love about him. One of his videos I saw in his survival kit, his main item for shelter And if you think about what is shelter supposed to be for, it's to help you maintain your body temperature.
Mm-hmm.
He put a down coat in there. And I'm always seeing in threads for survival kits and all, people, this tarp, this bag, that bag, this tent, that tent. And very seldom do they think your first line of shelter, put on a coat.
Yeah,
a coat. Yeah, a coat or another layer of clothing is so much more efficient. If I'm under my blanket and I move my arm, I might pull it off my feet. But coats are made so that I can move my arms around,
Absolutely.
I don't know. Seems like a no-brainer, and that old man gets it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we interviewed him a year ago or so on the podcast, what's the most important thing for your kid? And he'll tell you the first thing is your clothing. Absolutely.
And we're getting him back on the podcast, by the way. He's down for that.
Awesome. We had a great time. Last time we spoke to him, the earth shook here, so it was an earth-shaking experience. Also, just did a quick part 1 review of the Mystery Ranch bag that we had a few months ago. I got back from a trip, I think, in Haiti, and it's back with us, and we will be doing a giveaway, guys. I know a lot of people are like, hey, Adam, gosh, you're reviewing an $800-900 bag. I can never afford that. I don't want that bag. Well, guess what, guys? Somebody out there is going to get one, so stay tuned. We'll be giving it away here really soon. Speaking of other giveaways, Mr. Andy Roy sent us a Fiddleback Forge machete, and out there shopping. So that's a nice machete, Joe. You gotta get one of those if you don't have one already.
I might have had a hand in putting that one together. I'm not going to say.
Also, the last one, another dogwood custom knife from Dan Eastland, the Marauder fixed blade, which we'll be doing something special with that here in the near future. So great stuff all in all, guys. And just want to remind everybody out there listening to Equip2Endure podcast, it is brought to you by CampingSurvival.com. CampingSurvival.com. Check it out. Use promo code E2E for additional 5% off. And before we get David on the show, guys, you want to knock out some gear picks of the week? Because I got mine already.
I got mine ready, too.
All right, I'm going first this time, guys. You guys have to wait. I just picked up a awesome little thing for anybody who's backpacking. This would be something that's great for your bug-out kit. It's a Vargo titanium hexagon backpacking wood stove. Really light. Now, these are a little bit on the pricey side. They're about $60, $57.95 to be exact, but they are awesome. They can slide into pretty much any small space. I mean, you can put them in the back pocket of your jeans if you want to. Super light, super easy to put together, and it's just a great little stove, especially in your area if you're hiking on the trail and you can't make a large fire. So check it out.
I'm so glad you've got that.
I know you can't have it, Robbie.
Well, but I'm figuring it will go with you when we do classes. And, I'm virtually worthless until I get that coffee in the morning. And I hate building that huge fire just to get my coffee going so that I can have enough, wherewithal to then be able to build the fire correctly to cook breakfast.
Especially when the students stayed up after you at the bed and burnt all your breakfast.
Burn all my wood. So now I can make a fire in that stove just big enough to heat my water.
I'm sorry,
dude. Vargo makes some cool stuff.
Flashbacks of Robbie yelling at students in the morning about them using his firewood, and they're just so shocked that he's yelling at them. All right, go ahead. Who's
God forbid they use all that stuff to keep warm. Hold on, I got one more Vargo rant for you. Did you know they make something that's called the bot? It's the bottle pot.
No, I don't know. I didn't know.
Oh, my gosh. It's this giant, just like canister made of titanium with the screw on top that's supposed to be your bottle and your pot that you can use at the same time.
Sweet. I'll have to check that out.
It's pretty cool. My camping survival pick of the week. Am I okay to say that, Robbie?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just hopping in line here and just going to push everybody out of the way. Coughlin's thermal solar blanket. Blah, blah, blah. Thermal solar blanket. All right, so it's just this cheap or inexpensive thermal blanket, but it is awesome as a ground sheet, and you can flip it over and have the heat reflect back to you. It's waterproof. It's great for my dog when I'm camping, and even hammock camping. I'll put it underneath my hammock, and my dog will hang out on it and kind of just completely sit in it all nice and not shiver at all. But it's a great tarp, and it's a thermal blanket, too, so you can use it for two things. And mine has lasted a long time. I actually bought it used from another person, and I just love it to death. The only thing about it is just the weight if you're trying to ultralight. It weighs 14 ounces. which is a little less than a pound. It's kind of heavy for, I guess, a tarp thing, but it's pretty nice. I like mine a lot.
Joe, just for clarity of the image that's going through my mind here, you hang the tarp underneath the hammock, correct?
No, I put it underneath the hammock just on the ground.
Oh, okay.
No.
You know how people hang a tarp under a hammock or something under a hammock to create that barrier in between the hammock and the outside world, the insulation barrier to make their hammocks warmer.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, that's the image I had in my mind with Sheila, your dog, in between the hammock and, in that little pocket there. And I was thinking, well, how wonderful, because then the dog acts like a warmer.
Yeah.
Right, from the bottom of your hammock.
Unfortunately, I haven't trained her.
Personally, she's too small for a real good heat source, though.
No. I've tried to train her to be a marsupial, but she's just not into it just yet.
Dog in a pocket.
What you got for us, Robbie?
Well, I'm going the food route this week, Adam,
mm-hmm.
but not standard food. My pick is the Datrex emergency food rations.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that this is my pick this week is I've been doing a lot of studying this week on my food stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of calories in your average, well, I'm not going to say your average meal, what is suggested as supposed to be your meal.
Mm-hmm.
If I tried to live off that and did anything for a living or had to go out and cut my own firewood to keep warm, I'd starve to death on what the calories that are recommended are.
Yeah.
These Datrex emergency food rations are 3,600 calories per package for $5.95. That's $6 for 3,600 calories. That's a day's worth of calories for $6.
Yeah.
Now, for something to keep around in case you get caught in a snowbank and your vehicle won't move, or a storm knocks, shuts off your road and you can't get out for a day or two, and you're in a bad situation, that's good insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's add something to that. The 2,000-calorie diet is an average diet for the people who are walking around, sitting in front of a computer all day long and whatnot, and not really exerting themselves. If you go out there and start, pushing the manual labor. I mean, some of these guys, who are doing a lot of cardio, a lot of working out, and even if you're out in the field, even soldiers and whatnot. I know when somebody was telling me when they're doing buds training that some of those guys they're consuming like 6,000 calories a day because they're working them so hard. I mean, you're going to have to up your calorie intake if you're out there doing manual labor. So that's a pretty important point to bring up, Robbie. Very much so.
He obviously agrees with the awkward silence.
There.
Thank you. I try to hit one out of the park every once in a while.
Awesome stuff, guys. Everybody can find these items at campingsurvival.com. Remember, E2E promo code, 5% off. Some great stuff, and I think I'm going to do some more purchasing. I need a new Trailblazer Bucksaw, Robbie.
Dude, this calorie deficit thing is kind of important to me. Just recently, I've been reading Ed Stafford, who we should really try and get on the podcast, by the way. His book, Walking in the Amazon, and he's talking about them trekking all day and just running out of fairing because they have to put in all these calories that they keep burning, and they keep using up more calories than they're taking in each day.
Yeah.
And, it's just, hey, it'd be nice to just bring a brick of butter with me or something like that.
I did get some canned butter the other day, and I think there's 2,400 calories per can of butter. So good stuff. All right, guys, you guys ready to bring on our guest?
No, let's talk more about butter.
Get on again. David Kobler. David, are you there?
I am here. Yes, I am.
Southern Prepper 1. Well, first off, David, how did you come up with the Southern Prepper 1 name? Did that just was that just an organic thing?
Well, story that my daughter doing YouTube almost 2 years. My daughter came home and her girlfriend had a YouTube channel. It's not big in technology. And I said, how can she have a YouTube channel? I'm dating myself here. And she said, Dad, it's the next said, hey, you know what? I can do a YouTube channel because I was teaching it locally. That way I could teach them walk different times if they couldn't make my class. So I had to come up with a name, and I just said, Prepper, I'm South Prepper, and that's taken, so it's the one, and that's how I got my name. Just decided to do a channel and just grab the name.
Awesome. And so, David, I mean, let's give a little background about you. And so, you know, you help own Practical Preppers. You guys do a lot of teaching. You do a lot of retreat consulting. You also retired from the Army. I guess you were infantry in the Army?
Yes, infantry.
And, of course, you do speaking engagement. I got to meet you at the Self-Reliance Expo in Arlington, Texas, here recently. So you do that. And also you're consultant for Doomsday Prepper, which is a very popular TV show. So congratulations for that. That's awesome.
Yes, we're having fun doing it. We wish we could go into a little different direction, but we're definitely making a difference. We get emails every day from there's a lot of people that don't get on YouTube, that don't get on the internet, and they're looking for solutions, and they see Doomsday Preppers and say, you know what, I need to prep. So it opens a lot of eyes.
We know what's funny about Doomsday Prepper. I mean, I don't have cable, so I've caught a couple episodes like on YouTube. But we went to a dinner party a while back. Some friends of ours were leaving the country, taking a job, and they were talking about Doomsday Preppers, and they're not preppers, and they're all kind of like, you know, kind of mocking the idea and whatnot. But then at the end of the conversation, they all like, yeah, but then I wonder what I would do if something happened. You know, so regardless of who it is, it gets them to start thinking about that and thinking about preparedness in general. And I think that's the first step. So that's a pretty cool aspect.
Definitely. They got to start thinking about it.
So, Robbie, I hear you thinking over there.
Well, it's just the aspect of, you know, I watch Doomsday Preppers fairly religiously. I watched every episode, I believe. And the way some of the things in the show was portrayed, some of the participants were portrayed in ways that I don't think even they 100% supported. But at the same time, the show was not teaching anyone to do anything dangerous. And there's survival shows and that kind of thing out there on the television all day, every day, that are showing dangerous things for people to do.
Absolutely.
So if we can get Doomsday Preppers with a little bit of drama, you know, a little bit of over the top just to make it interesting for the non-prepper, and that's the worst case scenario, instead of teaching people to do things that could get them killed, hey, I don't have any problems with it.
You mean I shouldn't gut a seal and make a wetsuit out of its skin and go swim with sharks? That's not a good idea?
Right after you drink your own urine and walk around in the snow barefooted.
Awesome. Well, David, tell us about your business.
We started our business probably about 17 months ago, 18 months ago, and it was just we were already doing it. We were already helping people. We've been helping people for years go into their place, you know, helping them set up anything from, you know, a security plan to, hey, I need some water if the fridge goes down. So me and Scott were doing that on our own, separately, and then we said, you know what, we got to either do this full-time or we have to stop and go back to our regular life. Can't keep doing work plus trying to help people. And so it was a natural just progression into, hey, we can do this full-time. I have the best job in the world. Every day I do what I love to do, to educate, to teach, and help people. So satisfying. Like last week, we put in 3 deep well pumps, hand well pumps, for 3 families. So, you know, if the power goes off, you know, they have water by simply pumping. And not just them, but their neighborhood. These are good people, and they would definitely share their resource of water. But it's nice when we leave a job site knowing that these people can take care of themselves, they can take care of their loved ones, and they can take care of their neighborhoods. That's what it's all about.
Awesome.
Well, you guys don't realize how good just having water is until you realize that's what it takes to flush a toilet.
This is very true. Well, hey guys, let's hold on for that one. We're getting ready for our first break, and we'll be right back with Southern Prepper 1. Or do you prefer David? I'm sure
it doesn't matter. Dave's fine.
We'll be right back with Dave here on the Equip2Endure podcast. So guys, just stay tuned. We'll be right back after word from our sponsors on the Preparedness Radio Network.
You're listening to the Preparedness Radio Network. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor. Survival is not about the end of the world. It's not about a hypothetical plane crash or the latest violent storm. Survival is about the satisfaction of knowing you can take care of yourself and your family in any situation, anytime, anywhere. CampingSurvival.com was started in 1956. No, not the .com part, the survival part. CampingSurvival.com has over 17,000 urban, wilderness, and preparedness items. Supreme customer service, very low shipping, and no games. We look around to make sure we have the lowest prices, and CampingSurvival.com is 100% USMC veteran owned. Don't base your survival on the latest spring up on the internet company. Do business with an authority on survival. CampingSurvival.com. Confidence born on preparation. Order today and use the promo code E2E for an additional 5% off your order. Did you know that there were more natural disasters in 2011 than any other year in recorded history? So far, 2012 is on track to beat this record with even more earthquakes, tornadoes, and floods. When disasters and hyperinflation happens, grocery store shelves go empty. People are left without food and are forced to rely on the government. Don't let this happen to you. BuyEmergencyFoods.com offers delicious ready-made meals from Legacy Premium Food Storage at the best prices available anywhere. Don't be fooled by the more expensive, less convenient, and poorly packaged emergency food storage options out there. Legacy Premium Food Storage meals are vegetarian-friendly, taste delicious, and are ready to eat in just minutes. With premium ingredients made in the USA, plus all of these great-tasting emergency meals come with a worry-free 25-year shelf life. So if you're worried about food inflation, economic crisis, unemployment, or natural disasters, then don't delay and prepare your family now. Order today and use the promo code E2E and get free shipping and 5% off on every item. Again, go to BuyEmergencyFoods.com and get prepared today.
Hey, Old Dr. Bones here. Are you prepared to deal with medical issues in a disaster situation? What would you do if medical help was not on the way? The Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook is over 400 pages of how-to advice written in plain English. You'll learn to handle all the likely medical issues you'll encounter in times of trouble. And it's not just the conventional medical wisdom. We talk about alternatives like essential oils, medicinal herbs, and other home remedies. Make the Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook a part of your survival library. And don't forget, Nurse Amy and I have medical kits, suture materials, instructional DVDs, and other items that'll help you keep it together even if things fall apart. Check them out, as well as 200 articles on medical preparedness, survival gardening, and other alternative remedies on our website at www.doomandbloom.net. Never think doom and gloom, think doom and bloom.
Thanks for listening to a word from our sponsors. Now, back to the show on the Preparedness Radio Network.
All right, guys, we're back, and before we get back to it, I do want to bring up something, guys. BuyEmergencyFoods.com. Great stuff. We've had them on the podcast a few weeks ago, and I have to say they sent us some stuff to sample here at the E2E house. We've taken to a couple camps, some overnighters and some training, and even Robbie's had some. It's really great stuff, but if you guys have any interest, let me know, because I'm trying to organize a group buy, some really great savings on a group buy. I've had some emails and some conversation from the E2E team members who are interested, so let us know. We can have it shipped to multiple locations, so some really great savings if you guys are looking for food prep or food storage from BuyEmergencyFoods.com. So check out the website, let me know, and we can organize something great. Ain't that right, Robbie? And try the, what was it, the spicy corn chowder I had the other day. It was awesome. I had to do a video about it. It was so good.
Group buy on the bacon.
Oh, man. Bacon's proof that God loves us, gentlemen. All right, so David, let's talk about your YouTube channel, man. Fellow YouTuber, you're doing freaking awesome. 30,000 subscribers, almost 4 million views, and you just started 2 years ago? Been doing
about 23 months ago.
Awesome.
Coming up on like 2 years. Yeah.
So tell us about your channel. I mean, your slogan is "Don't be scared, be prepared." And what's your main goals on your channel?
Probably the main goal is to educate. Try to bring people to realize that their mind is their most important survival tool. Training is much better than having $1 million worth of gear sitting in your closet. knowing how to do something with nothing, and getting back to your mindset. That's the thing I learned in the military. If you can control your mind, if you can control your fear, you can do anything. You can improvise, you can overcome, you can adapt. The mind is your biggest tool out there. And so that's what I stress. I do a lot of tactical videos, trying to get people. A lot of guys have never served in the military, so that's probably their weakest area. If they actually had to protect their neighborhood or their community from an outside threat, how could they do it more efficiently? And basically, if they're more efficient, hopefully that threat will go somewhere else, so they don't have to use force. They can show that they're strong and they're organized in their community. And so I do a lot of tactical ones, telling them how to do things, and I enjoy that. I enjoy teaching. I missed the military days. I was back, teaching young guys. So that's what I'm doing on YouTube. It's just sort of an extension of, the Army, teaching guys what to do in the Army. It's just teaching people what to do regarding prepping.
And one thing I think you said is pretty important is not just teaching them how to do it for themselves, but to teach them how to do it for their community. So I guess you stress that community and how important it is for a community in a prepping situation.
Correct. Most preppers or survivalists are loners or individuals. They want to be sort of left alone. And what my goal is to take it from the guy up in the cabin trying to survive on his own to, hey, you're not going to make it in the cabin. You'll eventually have a problem. You'll eventually need somebody to help you sustain your community, organize your community, develop relationships. It is such a good feeling where the community has developed and the people nearby, where I can pick up my radio and I can talk to many, many different preppers. I can talk to doctors. I can talk to mechanics. I can talk to all kinds of people. So if I have a problem, I can actually get them on a radio. So that's what I stress. It's community. It's involving everyone in your area. That little old lady down the road might have the answer you need to a problem if something happens in this country. She might say, you know what, when I was 7 years old, my dad taught me how to do this. So getting everyone involved and everyone can contribute to your survival plan.
Awesome. Awesome stuff.
While reading the Foxfire books, it was really neat to see how people used to come together to do that. Like, we need to get pine tar, so they're going to have a pine tar party. Or, like everybody in the neighborhood would get together and do grape stomping or something like that. And it's just these things that they did for these additives that were very important to their everyday lives, but everybody helped each other to do that. I think that's just a really neat thing. Nowadays, we reference it, maybe a barn raising might be the only thing that we have reference to, but it's kind of funny that it'll take something like a big event that's not in everybody's favor to pull everybody together.
Great stuff. So do you have anything really good coming out here on YouTube that everybody can be eagerly awaiting?
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna test some. It's 4x8 sheets of bulletproof material. It comes in all different thicknesses to protect up with armor piercing. I'm going to shoot at a few pieces tomorrow, so I'll make a video tomorrow on that. It's a little bit expensive. It's pretty much out of a lot of people's, realm of purchasing it. It's $600 for a 4x8 sheet. But it's something that you might, if you live in the city and you can't make a safe room, you could buy a few sheets, and try to retrofit a closet to make it a little safer for you. So there's some applications for it. Plus, any reason to go out and shoot, is worth it.
Amen to that one. Well, hey, David, we've got a couple questions on the chat room. One question: recently, Doom and Bloom got accused of fear-mongering. So I want to ask if E2E has gotten much of this, or has Southern Prepper or Engineer 775 gotten much of this fear-mongering accusations? I got to say, no on our end. I've not gotten really any complaints in regards to what we say. We try to keep our message positive about people learning and understanding and keep on keeping on. David, have you had anything in regards to that?
No, not really at all. Nothing. You just give a good product to people. You tell them what to do, and then you give them all kinds of ways they can do it, from the least expensive to the most expensive, and let them pick. To push something out of fear to make them buy something is wrong. But if you give them a lot of options, even if you can't buy something, guess what? You can do it yourself. You don't have money for inexpensive. Well, guess what? There's a rain catchment, $10 a barrel, a little bit of a gutter from Home Depot, and guess what? You got a water source. So no, I haven't been really accused of pushing that, which is good, because that's definitely not what we're trying to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rob, you there?
Yes, sir.
What you got for us?
Man, I don't even know where to start. You want me to start most current? You want me to go furthest back? You want to go food? You want to go guns? I got a million questions for David.
Yes.
Well, I guess the first thing I want to say, and this is to David, but for the benefit of our listeners. David, thank you for your most recent video. Are You Ready for the Storm? I think it was titled.
Yes.
And people, if y'all want to pick on me, do it. I don't care. I have no pride. It almost brought tears to my eyes because the references you made in that video to the building that you were standing in front of and how it's fallen down and how, I guess, the fundamentals that used to be the foundation for American life and American mentality are being eroded the same way that building is with time and nature. Man, that was a very moving experience watching that video, and I encourage anyone listening, if you're not already a fan of Southern Prepper One's YouTube channel, watch that one first, and it will inspire you to want to go back and watch the other ones. And so, David, what brought you to feel the need to make that video that day?
Well, I feel that every day. I mean, as a military guy, you know, your main purpose is to protect the Constitution, and you turn on the news every day. They're violating it. They're executive orders. They're doing things that totally goes against what I swore an oath to. So, every day I get emotional when I look at the flag. I've been there. I've known the price that men have had to pay for that flag to fly. I've seen it. I've seen people, get perished, to get killed. And their only purpose was they were patriotic guys, and they were saying, hey, you know what, that flag is more important than me. So, that's part of me. It's, I was raised and then military service. So that's very dear to me. I'm seeing the country going in a direction where I wish we could change it. And I don't think any politician can change it. I think it's going to take that little fire in everyone's heart of freedom, of individualism, self-reliance. I think that's what's going to change it. No politician's going to change it.
It is upsetting, and it seems like so trapped in the bureaucracy that, and people get so used to just being, believing what they're told and just keeping with the status quo. It is disappointing. We had a training class this week in a leadership development class, and we were talking about the shift in the cultures and how the younger generation, unfortunately, is just not, the work ethic isn't there, the discipline isn't there, and unless they wake up and start straightening up, I don't know what kind of world they're going to inherit when it's time for them to inherit it.
Well, Adam, in his video, David alluded to something. He said he made a statement, and I felt like it kind of it spoke on the same lines of something I very, very dearly believe, and that is that people are expecting their politicians to do that for them.
Oh yeah.
They think one vote, either left or right, is going to make the world the way they want it. And the truth of the matter is, it's the individual Americans all making the right decisions together and showing their power in their purchasing decisions, in their presence in the school board, in their presence everywhere they can be unified, that will make a difference. No single politician out there is going to change the world for us.
Nope. You got to do it yourself, people.
David, am I wrong on that?
No, totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, we're going to go in a whole different area on this conversation.
Well, then I'm sorry. Well, let me take a walk back in time.
I was pulling my soapbox out from under the table and putting my soapbox shoes on and getting ready to mount that bad boy, but I'm going to stop there.
Sit back in your chair, Adam. I'll take a walk back in time. David, about I guess a year ago now, I may be wrong. I may be off a month or two. You did a video on a underground survival cache shelter type situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you had it stored with different foodstuffs and all. Enjoyed the video, but there was one thing in the video I wanted to, if I got the chance to ask you, where did it go? You mentioned in the video that there was a bucket of food there that you were going to open and do a video on what the contents look like now after being stored for so long. Did you make that video and I missed it, or where did that one go?
No, I did not make the video. I did open it, and we did eat it, and I did not tell my kids, what the rice was, how old it was, and they ate it. They had no problems with it. It was really old. I think it was 11 years old, 12 years old, in that realm. And it was basically stored in a Ziploc bag. Then it was duct taped so it wouldn't fail in the opening. And then it was placed inside a 5-gallon container with nothing else done to it. Now, granted, it was stored in a good environment, cool, but it tasted just like regular rice that you buy at the store.
So no oxygen absorbers, no dry ice method.
Nothing. But just a good, cool temperature for that whole time period.
Now, see, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, did you think you could store rice for 10 or 12 years with nothing else, putting it in a sealed container?
Well, no, me, I'd probably eat it before the 12 years kind of pass would go, but or forget about it. What is it? Who put a box of rice under my bed? No, that's pretty cool. So I guess, is the cat out of the bag now? I mean, did you wait till the kids were done and be like, hey, guess what, guys? That rice is older than you.
Yes. They're pretty old. The rice was fine. The wife was happy with it. So if you can make the wife happy, you got a winner.
Ain't that the truth? If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Nobody happy. She's actually going to join me at the Hickory Conference coming up.
Awesome.
She'll be at the table. Yeah, she doesn't usually travel with me, but she will be at the Hickory. It'll just be me and her. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. So I do want to hear. Will you be selling your zombie survival beans?
Well, I wish I had a truckload of them. I might be able to make a bunch of money. No, that was actually just a promotional thing that National Geographic made to give out. So it was just a free thing they had, and I got a can.
I guess we should put a point of give everybody a point of reference on that.
Yeah, I'm lost here on that one.
Do you want to explain that one? It's pretty good fun.
Yeah, I did a video, and basically I was making fun of it, saying if you don't buy this product, you're not going to survive. If you don't love your family, if you don't buy it. So you need to buy this to survive, and basically you need 3 cans a day, and it's just beans in a can with a cute little label on it, with some cute little information on it. But basically it was to tell people that, make sure you know what you're buying, and buying a product does not guarantee your survival.
And the title is, "You will not survive the end of the world or a zombie invasion without this product." So, of course...
It got a lot of views, more than I thought. Like 16,000, 17,000 views, for a thing. And some people thought I was serious. It was sort of funny, and then they realized, hey, I'm a dummy. He's joking.
Well, you know what? I oftentimes find the people that I can't take the people seriously that have no sense of humor. If they can't smile and laugh at themselves every once in a while, they scare me enough I don't want to deal with them.
Yes, we all know that we like to make fun of ourselves here on Equip2Endure as much as possible.
I thought that's what we're supposed to do on this.
No, we just pick on you a lot, Joe.
Only when you show up to the show, Joe. Only when you show up to the show.
Well, I'm glad you guys have a lot of energy, because I was actually on the recliner before you called, just falling asleep. And then you guys get on here and it's like, wow, I got some energy back. So I'm glad you guys are pumped.
Adam has caffeine breath.
It's my superpower. It's just energy. I can dispense it through the telephone and the computer.
You did. Trust me, I was almost falling asleep before you called.
Awesome.
David, you mentioned earlier that everything doesn't have to be expensive, and I remember about 4 months ago you did a video referencing a budget arsenal or firearm choices for budget-minded people. And in that video, and I'm sorry if I don't get the details right, but it was only a couple $100 I think you spent on several firearms by being frugal and shopping and looking for things secondhand. And does that mindset work with everything else in prepping too? Is being frugal, shopping around, and being content with secondhand items if they're quality? Does that work for more than just firearms?
I would say so. I pick up a lot of axes. I look for good American, made products. But hatchets, axes, good shovels. I pick that stuff up for a few dollars each at garage sales. They might need a little bit of paint. It might need to be, a little bit of work done to it, and I just put it back. To me, that's wealth. I mean, I'd rather have a few more axes and hatchets and some good gardening tools and some good quality tools put back than a lot of money in my savings account, because I know that stuff is wealth.
What's your favorite garage store find so far?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Lots and lots. I'm an avid garage sailor or flea marketer. I like
actually question to ask.
Yeah. I like nails because I do a lot of construction, and usually you can go to a garage sale. They might have just finished a major project, and they bought 50 pounds, and they used 2 pounds out of it, and they'll say, hey, you can have it for $5, And I can't make nails, and that's just something I like to put back.
Yeah, man. Well, I totally can see that.
That's a good idea. I'm writing that one down. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
I probably have 500 pounds of nails put back, and all of them purchased for pennies on the dollar.
Does anybody else remember some quote saying that one of the most precious things for Lewis and Clark expedition was nails? They used to burn down the forts for the nails.
Yes, Joe. Not just Lewis and Clark, but most of your mountain men too. It was a common thing to burn down your cabin to retrieve the nails.
I like stocking things I can't make. Now, granted, a blacksmith could make nails, but for me, it's just easier to put back, things I cannot produce on the homestead, I put back. And they come in handy. I give them away. Friends making a shed or a doghouse or something, and you can just give them some nails, save them some money. So, it's not all for gloom and doom to the end of the world. It's for everyday projects around the house. I live 35 minutes from a hardware store, so it's much easier to have something here when I need to do something quick than to jump in the car, waste time, waste gas to go get one small thing. So, it's also good to save money in everyday life.
Absolutely. And that's actually an important thing that I think is the biggest hurdle for some people starting their preps, is we've gotten to be such a disposable society where everything that we buy, we just buy it, throw it away. We don't really value $1 anymore. We go spend $4.50 on a freaking coffee, and so changing the spending habits and saving your pennies and investing in your preps is, gosh, it's amazing. And one thing, I guess I don't know. Do you think it's just the boomer generation who just kind of got out of that? Because I think the depressionary generation was very much into prepping. Is it just a one generation gap? I mean, what's your
yeah, I mean, it's
point of view on that?
One generation has changed. They haven't experienced hard times, so to them it's the norm to go out there and spend a little money on something. And our great grandparents, they went through something a little bit different.
Absolutely.
I blame Atari.
Let me tell you, man, video games do have a part to play. What is it? We've talked about this before. Average American male, age of 16, has clocked 10,000 hours of video games.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that ridiculous?
I've probably done 10.
I mean, every once in a while it's okay, but not when you just start wasting. Not when you wake up and you're 55 and all you've accomplished in your life is play video games. So there's some 55-year-old video game addict right now listening to us. He's going, oh man, he's very upset with me.
They're like listening to your show as they're playing, Badge of Honor
in his 75-year-old mother's basement.
All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Joe, I know you got a question, but can you stand by on that question?
Yes, sir.
Can you stand by, Joe?
I gotta go play a video game.
Write it down real quick so you don't forget, because it sounded like you had compassion when you were about to ask that question. I don't want to lose.
Compassion or passion?
There you go. Passion.
Yeah.
Passion.
All right, guys, listen to Equip2Endure podcast on the Preparedness Radio Network. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. So stay tuned. Take it away, Steve.
You're listening to the Preparedness Radio Network. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
I'm Dr. Prepper, and I'm here today to tell you about the Wonder Mill. Their patented grain mills create the most luxurious and quality flours from any hard grains or beans. They contract with the world's best-suited factories to manufacture the Wonder Mill to the highest specifications in the industry that they plan and design right up there in Pocatello, Idaho. They're the only American company with both electric and hand-operated models. I like them so much, I bought both, and you should too. I use the electric model for the finest flour, and I use the hand-operated model for making my grits and creamy wheat for breakfast, and I can have it fresh every day. With the Wonder Mill's lifetime warranty and the fact that these are simply the world's fastest, quietest, cleanest operating grain mills, it's no wonder that most preparedness and kitchen professionals prefer the Wonder Mill over all the other grain mills on the market. I love both mine. I know you'll love yours too. Go to thewondermill.com. That's thewondermill.com and Wonder Mill grain grinders. Get yours today. Tell them that Dr. Prepper sent you, will you?
Discover the taste of the sun. Thousands of preppers have acquired a sun oven to have on hand in the event of an emergency and have been pleasantly surprised by the improved taste of sun-cooked foods. Sun ovens are a preparedness item you can start using today. A sun oven will pay for itself by reducing your utility bills and by keeping your house cooler in the summer. Food can be baked, boiled, or steamed at temperatures of 360 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit with the power of the sun. Sun ovens are often confused with homemade solar cookers, but they get considerably hotter, cook food faster, and hold temperatures longer. Sun ovens fold up in seconds, carry like a suitcase, and have many innovative features which make them the ultimate solar appliance. For the past 25 years, sun ovens have been proudly made in the U.S. They are durable and have a long life and come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. For a discount coupon, email preppers@sunoven.com. That's preppers@sunoven.com.
Want to reduce your dependence on the electrical grid? Trying to save money on groceries? Preparing for a major power outage? We can help. Layman's is your source for everything you need for heat, food, light, and water when there is no power. Glenda Lehman Irvin here for Layman's in Kidron, Ohio. My father, Jay Lehman, founded our store in 1955 to serve the local Amish with non-electric appliances, tools, and houseware items. Today, through our website, Layman's.com, a print catalog, and a retail store, we provide oil lamps, water pumps, wood stoves, canning supplies, and hand tools to customers all over the world. If you think it isn't made anymore, check with Layman's before you give up. Visit Layman's.com or call us at 1-877-438-5346 for a free catalog, or just stop by. We're located about an hour south of Cleveland.
Thanks for listening to a word from our sponsors. Now, back to the show on the Preparedness Radio Network.
All right, guys, we're back. So, David, Practical Preppers podcast here on the Preparedness Radio Network. You're starting next week, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so tell us about the show and you know what the idea behind it is and what you have in plans for the future of the show.
Yeah, it's going to be an hour-long show, and basically it'll be sort of an extension of YouTube trying to educate people, answer a lot of questions. I get so many questions on my YouTube channel, and a lot of them are the same. And I just don't have time to answer everyone. So it'd be a good place to do that and do a lot of instruction, teaching people, talking about how to make a retreat. If you live in the city, or suburban, or rural, or if you just buy a piece of property, what to look for to make it a good place for your family to go. So I'll have some guests on. Scott, Engineer 775, joining us, and he'll be talking about, solar questions, water pumping questions. So it'll be a lot of educational time. It'll be just an hour long, but I'll look forward to it every week. Probably the first 5 to 6 minutes, I'll have a section, any news that's directly related to prepping, be it a little bit of economics, be it about supplies, but it'd be 5 to 6 minutes of just the news that's related directly to preppers. And that's how I'll start it off with.
Awesome. Now, are you gonna do lots of guests as well, or just?
Yeah, I will. Yes, I would definitely do a mixture of guests. Got a lot of guys lined up. Some leading experts in some of the areas that will help me out. So.
Well, now, David, if you ever need somebody to speak to the subject of dogs and how they can provide security for your family and that type of thing, I happen to know a guy.
Speaking of barking dogs and alerting somebody of your presence, can you tell us where you found the tripwires for the tripwire thing?
Joe, are you outside recording this?
Yeah, I am. I think it sounds nice in the background.
I do agree with you. People are just like, listen to this right now. Like, what is going on?
That campfire conversation really does take place at a campfire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I got them from the dollar store. You can get them at Walmart. They actually make a military variety just like that, but they're like $23. Now, granted, the military ones are waterproof. The ones you buy at the dollar store are not, but you can improvise like a 20-ounce soda bottle, plastic soda bottle, and you can build like a little garage for it. So you can set it over top of it and make it waterproof for absolutely nothing. So they're neat. They're good. They're good to play with. They give you a little advantage that they will alert you if someone comes through.
I think it's just a fabulous idea. I mean, what it does, guys, is it utilizes the magnet that you normally put like on a door or something like that, and then the string basically moves the magnet, sets the alarm off. But that just might be handy for taking camping with you if you got, the slight paranoia of a skunk or something.
Yeah, and they're $1.
I'm getting one for sure and setting that up.
That's pretty awesome. Well, let's talk for to our listeners right now that might just be getting into prepping or starting out. What do you think maybe the 5 main things you could keep in consideration if you're starting doing your prepping, or what suggestions would you make to people who are getting into all this and stepping into the world of prepping?
Probably the first thing is have a plan. Sit down with your loved ones and write out the things that can affect your life today. Now, if you live on the ocean, hurricanes. If you live in California, maybe earthquakes. But sit down and say, hey, what's the biggest thing that could affect us? It's wildfires. And plan. Write it down. Say, I want to prepare for this. And then, figure out how long do you want to be prepared for, a week, a month. But get a good plan first and try to get all the family members involved. So don't start off saying, the world is going to end soon, we have to prepare. Because what you're going to do, especially with your kids or your wife, they're going to shut off right then and there. And a lot of people, I took a call today from a guy that his girlfriend, longtime girlfriend, is not into prepping. And what he's been doing is he's been just sort of harping on her, and he's doing it too much. I told him, hey, just relax. Don't talk to her about prepping at all, and go that route. So first, make a plan with your family. And I think the next one is water. You guys all know about water. You guys are the experts out there. You got to have a water plan. You got to have some type of filtration system. And this is good for anything, because tomorrow the news might say, hey, we're under a boil alert because we had a water main break. So you can implement your water plan then. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. So probably water I would put next, and probably trying to find out in your neighborhood where you could get water from a pond, a creek, a river. So if there is no water coming out the tap, you can walk a quarter mile, take your 5-gallon bucket and get some water. And I would say probably the third thing to be thinking about is food. I encourage everyone to start building their pantry up. I mean, I love dehydrated food because it's so easy. I mean, if you bug out or go camping that weekend, you just go to the closet and grab some dehydrated food, and you're going to be good. But I think the best thing is in a stressful environment, eat the food that you normally like, especially if you have kids. If you got young kids and you throw something new on the table, they might say, hey, I don't like that. I don't want to eat that, Mom. So stock foods that you normally eat. Just make your pantry bigger. It'll save you money. Every time there's a buy one, get one free sale, and you normally eat it, buy it. Don't buy anything you normally don't eat. I made that mistake when I first started prepping. There was a super deal on something. I bought a bunch, and guess what? It expired, and then my wife had to rub my nose in it. I told you not to buy that. So buy only the things that you guys eat. And then from there, it's some basic shelter. Do you guys have shelter? You guys know you're going to be doing some primitive stuff soon. You got to keep the elements off of you. And hopefully most of them have houses. So think about, hey, how can I heat this house? If you don't have a wood stove, maybe you can use a little propane, and maybe you can just heat part of the house. You don't have to heat the whole house.
Yeah.
Keep the pipes from freezing and keep warm. So shelter. And then for the other ones, there's a lot of things. Some people might say, well, I'm on some life-needing medication, so maybe you need to stock some more medicine, maybe insulin, maybe a thyroid medicine. So that needs to be part of your plan. But it's you can start small and just as soon as you start working on other things, it opens the door for more. But probably the biggest thing, if you were starting prepping right now, is do not get overwhelmed. You have to take it one step at a time, like running a marathon. It's just one step after the next step, and that's how you need to do prepping. Don't overwhelm yourself, and don't compare yourself with other preppers, especially on YouTube. You get on YouTube as a new prepper, and you see, oh, my gosh, I can never do what those guys are doing. It's taken me 25 years to get to where I am. You're not going to get there overnight. So don't compare yourself with other YouTube preppers. Don't compare yourself with people that have tons of extra spending money. Do what you can do and do something for your family.
Good advice. Great advice, actually.
Well, David, first let me say, give a little shout-out here. Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy have a program on this same network. You may be familiar with them.
Yep.
Amy's actually in with us in the chat room tonight, and she wanted to say hello to you.
Awesome. Yes. I went to the conference in Dallas with them, and then we spent a few hours in the evening talking and getting to know each other. It was a great time with them. They're both great people. I consider both of them my friends.
Wonderful. You talk about the things to start with in building your preps. From being familiar with your channel, I know that you're a big supporter of caches or caches, and at what point do you start putting stuff in a cache? Because I've got the fear that if I concentrate on having everything in the house first and then starting secondarily on a cache, well, what happens if my house burns? So where's that magic point at which it's okay to start moving some of your things to your cache?
You're listening to the Preparedness Radio Network. We'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, meat eaters, the freeze-dried guy wants to know, does your emergency food supply meet the standards for survival? Then get the 144-day meat variety unit from the freeze-dry guy. Our meat units utilize only quality Mountain House freeze-dried cooked ground chicken and ground beef, the undisputed choice for great taste and highest nutrition. The freeze-dry guy's 144-day meat variety unit includes 6 number 10 cans of the very best freeze-dried animal protein for power you'll need when the going gets tough. Every meat eater's 144-day meat variety unit comes with a free medical kit and always free shipping to the lower 48. Need more than 144 days? See our 1-year plus meat eaters units at freezedryguy.com. And hey, the Freeze Dry Guy still has LRP rations, but they're going fast. Don't wait until tomorrow. Call now, 866-404-3663. That's 866-404-3663. Or go to freezedryguy.com and meet the standards for survival.
Thanks for listening to a word from our sponsors. Now, back to the show on the Preparedness Radio Network.
All right, guys. After this, we're going gremlin hunting because the gremlins in the system that keep on cutting us out. Are you on that, Robbie?
I'm loaded for bear, man. I'm loaded for bear. Let's get them all.
We're not going to bed tonight. I'm sorry, David. Actually, Robbie, you were asking a question. I thought.
I was asking David. I know he's a supporter of the cache mentality. At what point in your prepping is it okay to start moving some of your stuff to your caches?
I think right away. I mean, I love them because of the threat of forest fires. I love them because tornado. Having all this gear and a tornado comes through, this is the time I need my gear. I need my first aid to look after my neighbors. I need some supplies to maybe dig out a neighbor. So I'm a big fan. I like oil drums. I like to get them for free. It doesn't take much work to put them in the ground. I got 2 sitting in my driveway that need to be put in. I can store a lot. The one I can store a year's supply of food easily for a person in there, easily, no problems. And those will be put in, and I will store, some basic first aid, some extra blankets, food, some extra tools, extra hatchets. So basically, if I lose everything above ground, I will have what I need to survive. So I'm a big fan of those, especially if someone breaks in your house. They can take a lot of your stuff, but if it's hidden on your property in a cache or a cache, it's much for you.
Now, what steps you take for maintenance of that? I mean, do you periodically check them? Do you have a schedule? Do you have backup map where everything is?
Yeah, most of mine are large. I mean, I do have some 5-gallon ones, but most of mine are about the 285-gallon. They're old oil drums, so they're approximately about 4 foot long and about, some of them are 4 foot tall. I put a floor in them, I cut a door, and I recess them back into a hillside. Camouflage the front real well. And, they're nice because it gets a lot of stuff out of my house, and it's stored. So, first of all, it's not in my way. The wife is happy because I don't have any clutter. It's safely put underground. And the nice thing about it is temperature. Mm-hmm. The food is going to last a longer time because it's under a constant temperature of the ground. So I'm a big fan of them. Everyone should have them. And you get sort of addicted when you first start putting them in. It's like, man, this is awesome. I just cleared out my storage room. Now I have room to store some other stuff or different things.
Awesome. Now I got to find a place. What do you think, Robbie? Think we'll do one right on the Appalachian Trail?
Dude, where you live, I'm not sure if I want to start burying anything as much rock as there is there. We need a jackhammer to bury anything.
This is true. We can go down to Sandy, North Carolina.
That's right. Bring your food here, Adam.
Yeah, but it lasts a lot longer up here. Because
you'll keep it away from me?
Well, especially if you bring bacon, it'll be gone. I love canned bacon, like you guys were saying. It's the best product out there.
I got 2 cans here waiting for Robbie. That.
Oh, yes.
Talk about brotherly love right there. I got a can of bacon waiting for you in your bedroom down here.
Nothing says love quite like bacon.
Yeah, at the Equip2Endure home, we don't put little chocolate mints on the pillows. For our flop house, we put cans of bacon. Good stuff. Joe, you still there?
I'm just thinking of bacon stocking stuffers.
Any questions for David? We're getting to the last couple minutes of the show here.
Nope. I'm pretty happy. As far as digging with anything like that, is there any containers that you don't recommend putting into the ground?
Not really. I mean, I use metal containers that are safe, and I clean them out so they're nice and safe inside. But just a good old oil drum that you can get for free because people change over from oil heat to natural gas. That's what we're using.
David, I know that you also did the series with the clean, brand new septic tanks, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
How do those hold up as compared to the wood, the metal ones?
They're better in the sense you don't have to spend any time cleaning them. You don't have to cut a door in them. But they are more expensive because you buy them brand new. I do not recommend using a used septic tank. I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Oh, man, that's
words of wisdom from the campfire. Do not use a used septic tank.
You didn't learn that from experience, hopefully.
No.
Oh, great stuff. So, David, what else do you have coming on in the near future? Is there any speaking engagements or any other future projects that you can tell us about before we run out of time here?
Let's see. I'll be speaking at Hickory, and then I will be actually going overseas to speak at Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be going over there in the next couple months, which would be awesome. I've never been to Sweden. I've been all over that area for Uncle Sam, but never to a nice place like Sweden. So I'll be speaking at a preparedness conference. So preparedness is not only an American thing. It's happening everywhere in the world.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, so all right, we're coming down to the last few minutes. So, David, why don't you give us any other information? So, if anybody has any questions or concerns or want to, talk to you about your services, where they can get in contact with you at, and the best way to get all their questions answered.
You can go to practicalpreppers.com. Within the next probably 2 days, we will have a brand new website up. It'll be more user-friendly. And it's actually made by a professional guy that makes websites, not me and Scott. So it's going to be a much better site. It should be up in the next few days. You can go there, or you can go to Southern Prepper 1 on YouTube and contact me that way.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well, David, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, and we'll have to have you on here in the near future, and we'll definitely see you down in North Carolina. I think the whole E2 team will be there, and we'll have a good time. So, Rob, anything else for David before we sign off?
Had a question on the board if we got a moment.
Oh, well, yeah, let's do it.
Got a question. If in the North Carolina area, putting in a hand pump for a prepper, or a prepper pump, if you will, is there a brand that you can recommend?
The only one we really recommend is Simple Pump, because it will pressurize your pressure tank in your house. It will actually pump the pressure, so you can go out there and pump your well or your pump, and then it will actually pressurize your pressure tank in your house. Then you can come in and use the water. You don't carry your water from your well to your house. It's delivered from every spigot inside your house.
You are kidding me. I am Googling that now.
We put in three.
Awesome.
We put in 3 last week. We put in tons and tons of these things.
What's the usual cost for? I mean, I guess it varies if they have to dig the well, but what's the average cost?
The pump itself varies from where your water is in your thing. So the farther your water down in your well, the more expensive. But they run about anywhere from $1,400 to $1,600, and that will put water right in your house.
Awesome. Joe, we have another question from the board. Do you have any machete videos coming up, Joe?
Sure, I can put together one.
I think, you know what, folks, I think that Joe needs to do a machete use and skills 101, because, Joe is formidable with a machete. I've seen him cut the wings off a fly in midair with a machete before, so.
It was a really big fly. I mean, like the size of a tennis ball, and I was really hyped up. No, absolutely, sure.
All right, so let's make that happen, Joe.
Woo.
We want that by tomorrow.
Okay.
So go out there in the nighttime and start swinging machetes on film. So, Rob, anything else?
Stay tuned to the website. Always got new articles. Got new videos coming out all the time. If you don't like YouTube, you can watch them from the website if you're registered there at the website, and registration's free. So free is about as good a bargain as you can get.
Yeah, man. And I think there's a half off on it next week too. So half off the free subscription. So guys, check that out. Also, guys, I want to remind you, we have the fall hunt coming up right now. So we put this on the website, but Madison Parker, the rest of the Equip2Endure team, we're going down to Kentucky to do a slingshot, pheasant, and squirrel hunt. We also are going to mix in there a survival class as well. So you guys know that Madison is fanatical about the slingshots, and I got to tell you, once you get your hands on one of his slingshots, talk about one of the most ultimate survival tools. I mean, Madison,
and they're quick to learn.
Oh my gosh,
so quick.
I want to go deer hunt with him this year with a slingshot, because he's gotten three deer with this one slingshot that TSA broke. I got to bang TSA on that one. We were coming back from Colorado Springs, but really great stuff. So we'll be pheasant hunting. The event, I think, is going to be $350, so it's the price of a normal 3-day survival course, but that includes your food, that includes your guided hunts, that includes your birds, that includes firewood, and also includes all the squirrel hunting that you want. We have survival classes lined up, so when one team is away hunting, you guys can be there learning the survival courses. And, of course, we'll have Bobby Plude there as well, myself, Robbie, Madison. I'm sure Joe's going to be there. It's going to be an awesome, awesome thing. There is limited space, so if you're interested, let us know. Drop us a line. There are some conversations going on in the Equip2Endure forums right now, and we'll have sign up here really, really soon. I think we want to try to have everything set up and all of our numbers final by October. So we're coming up on that. Yes, David, we know we won't be that far away from you. You might want to come out to that and do some slingshot hunting with us.
Yeah, you're not far. Well,
yeah, I mean, come on, David. You could be talking with friends. Yeah, I went pheasant hunting the other day. Oh, really? And then you can just add in with the slingshot.
With the sling, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is Madison and his team did this last year. He had some students until they were getting out of the truck, and a bunch of guys were getting out with shotguns and saw their slingshots and were mocking. At the end of the day, the only people that beat them was like a Benelli team that was out there doing training, like professional shotgun guys,
yes.
Something like that. They
nice.
put everybody else to shame, and that team only got one more bird than they did.
Wow.
These, automatic shotguns or whatever they were hunting with, I don't know. So yeah, but but then again, you put any kind of weapon in the hands of a Navy SEAL, he's going to make it happen. So good stuff. So anything else that I missed on that one, Robbie?
Nope. Just like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and
don't forget YouTube.
And bring a friend.
That's right.
We'll be looking for a classic camping video coming up, right, Adam?
Maybe. I got to edit that one, Joe. Joe's like, Newman. Well, hey, guys, we will be back next week where we continue our disaster or emergency preparedness series. Of course, we've done active shooter last week. We talked about, what did we talk about the week before? Food shortages and everything. Up in the near future, we're going to be talking about EMPs and also wildfires. But next week, we'll have the very lovely Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. Notice I said lovely Dr. Bones first before. The lovely Nurse Amy, too. I know she's listening right now, and she's probably laughing. We're going to be talking about pandemics. And let me tell you guys, I've done training in law enforcement in regards to pandemics, and I mean, we got our guys very much educated about this because some of these bugs out there nowadays can put a hurting on you very fast, and they spread so fast, and it'll be a great class for you guys to prepare for that kind of emergency because not a lot of people talk about that, and getting sick can cause a lot of damage to a society very, very quickly. Especially,
and we're talking about those little tiny bugs that get inside you, not the kind that Joe catches.
That's right. That's right. So Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy will be here. They're our subject matter experts for that. It should be an awesome show. We always have a great time with them. And I can't wait. It'll be fun. So tune back in. Same bad time, same bad channel. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now I'm going to be sued by DC Comics. This is Skylar's fault. He said something about some DC thing in the forums and in the message board here, and now he got me all crazy.
He's going to get you on that DC Universe game that I heard about.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. I don't have time to play. I got 3 full-time jobs, man. I will not be showing up for a podcast unless I start playing video games. All right, good stuff. Well, David, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. It was great.
Great time. We'll have to do this again,
Definitely.
And we're always I got to come down there to North Carolina, so maybe, Robbie, we can take a trip down to South Carolina and see David.
Yeah.
And do some stuff down there. That should be fun.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, David, take care.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions or comments, you can email me at adam@equip2endure.com, Robbie at robert@equip2endure.com, of course, Joe at joe@equip2endure.com. And just, like Robbie said, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Always great stuff. Please check out the website. Some great articles, great blogs, and great videos always being posted there daily. There's always new stuff. Remember, membership is free. The forums are up and operational, fully armed and operational. It's great. We have some very good dialogue going on. You know what we should do next week? We should start a new thing that's popped in, the forum thread of the week, because we got some really good comments going on there.
Oh, gee, somebody else is going to have to pick it because there's too many that I like on there.
We know what we have a feature on the administrative side of like who's on the website right now, and every time I turn it on, it's Robbie. Robbie's always there, and a handful of other dedicated members. So great stuff. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. And we had a great show. We have to thank David again. Check out his YouTube channel at Southern Prepper 1. So that's youtube.com/user/Southern Prepper 1. And that's pretty much it. So, Joe, you going to be around for the next week for the podcast?
Yes, sir.
I'm just making sure you're putting it on your calendar right now. And Robbie, we'll see you here real soon as well, right?
Absolutely.
All right, that sounds good. All right, guys, good questions or comments? You want to get us? Remember, you're not always prepared, never prepared. All right, Steve, take us away. You know, I was late. I'm going to call Steven early.
It's the 21st century, a dangerous world. Preppers need food and medicine. Why not have the best? Enterfood.com does the shopping, prep, and packaging for you using the best organic ingredients on the planet. Right now, specials are available for listeners of this station. The all-organic vegetarian food storage pail and the herbal medicine cabinet. The pail holds up to 120 flavorful meals, super packed fresh to last up to 15 years, soaked, cooked, or raw. The herbal medicine cabinet holds everything you'll need to cure common ailments. Use these items in an emergency or use them when camping. You can't beat these prices. Call to order now. 866-762-9238. 866-762-9238 or go to enterfood.com. That's ENERFOOD.com. Enterfood.com.
Looking for power grid independence? The Humless Solar Kit is the answer. Increasing brownouts in the U.S. suggest it's time to get a backup. The problem is gas generators are messy, require maintenance, and gas, which may be scarce in a real emergency. Get the Humless Solar Kit by itself or with a 1,000-watt Humless Sentinel generator. The kit includes a 100-watt solar panel, 20-foot extension cord, LED floodlight, rechargeable flashlights, and more. Become a fan at humless.com or on Facebook.
Hey, old Dr. Bones here. Are you prepared to deal with medical issues in a disaster situation? What would you do if medical help was not on the way? The Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook is over 400 pages of how-to advice written in plain English. You'll learn to handle all the likely medical issues you'll encounter in times of trouble. And it's not just a conventional medical wisdom. We talk about alternatives like essential oils, medicinal herbs, and other home remedies. Make the Doom and Bloom Survival Medicine Handbook a part of your survival library. And don't forget, Nurse Amy and I have medical kits, suture materials, instructional DVDs, and other items that'll help you keep it together even if things fall apart. Check them out, as well as 200 articles on medical preparedness, survival gardening, and other alternative remedies on our website at www.doomandbloom.net. Never think doom and gloom, think doom and bloom.
You've been listening to the Preparedness Radio Network, offering helpful and timely tips on preparing for natural and man-made disasters. Timely and useful tips on gardening and homesteading. Check us out online at bepreparedradio.com. Until next time, remember, preparedness saves lives. This is the Preparedness Radio Network.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather. Blog Talk Radio, the world's largest online radio network.
This is the Preparedness Radio Network, preparing you for natural and man-made disasters. Helpful tips on gardening, and homesteading. Be prepared. And remember, preparedness saves lives. This is the Preparedness Radio Network. Survival is not about the end of the world. It's not about a hypothetical plane crash or the latest violent storm. Survival is about the satisfaction of knowing you can take care of yourself and your family in any situation, anytime, anywhere. CampingSurvival.com was started in 1956. No, not the .com part, the survival part. CampingSurvival.com has over 17,000 urban, wilderness, and preparedness items, supreme customer service, very low shipping, and no games. We look around to make sure we have the lowest prices, and CampingSurvival.com is 100% USMC veteran-owned. Don't base your survival on the latest spring-up-on-the-internet company. Do business with an authority on survival. CampingSurvival.com. Confidence born on preparation. Order today and use the promo code E2E for an additional 5% off your order. Did you know that several major European countries are at risk of defaulting on their financial obligations? The U.S. economy will suffer substantially if this happens. Inflation is getting worse, and with a European default, hyperinflation is very possible. If hyperinflation occurs, store shelves will be empty within days and food prices will skyrocket. Will you be able to feed your family when hyperinflation hits? BuyEmergencyFoods.com offers the best kind of emergency food, Legacy Premium, with the largest variety available in the freeze-dried food industry. Each meal is packaged for freshness in individual nitrogen-flushed Mylar pouches. The meal pouches are then sealed and
yell the entire time.
But I'm not dressing up like a Spartan.
Well, unless you want to do video podcasts, which I do not approve of. But
now, why don't we just come to podcasts on our Halloween character? How about that?
Exactly, that's what I meant. We do it as a character. And other news, to get off that last tangent, I met my goal for Amazon 5000.
All right, congratulations, Joe.
It is absolutely 100% official that I am going in October.
You hear that, Robbie? We get a break from Joe for a whole month.
I hear that somebody much prettier than me is going to be the guest host.
Well, hey, you can't release that yet, man. That's still G14 classified.
I know. I'm not even going to say who. Just they look better than me, which really doesn't leave you that much to go with. Most people are.
So, Robbie, what do you got going on this weekend? Any good classes? Any dog stuff happening?
Actually, no, I don't. This weekend is really slow, Adam. In a couple weeks, I do have a North Carolina or Eastern North Carolina Preppers meeting to go to, and I'm very excited about that. I just recently joined that organization, and I'm kind of excited.
Awesome. Well, we got some plans thus far. I think my cousin is coming up. She's a surgical PA, so she does a lot of, and she also does a lot of wilderness medicine stuff. We're going to go out in the field. Our cameraman Mark, I think my buddy Ryan, we're going to go out there and we're going to work on our primitive camp and shoot a couple of videos. Should be some great stuff. Speaking of videos, we had some really good ones that came out this last week. First off, you guys know that we're big supporters of Paws and Stripes. Jim Stanek and Lindsay Stanek, they're out and really pushing hard for our disabled vets with PTSD and TBI. And we posted a great video of Jim doing a speech at the Self-Reliance Expo in Arlington, Texas last month. Really good stuff. We posted it up there a couple days ago, guys, so check that out. If you haven't donated to Paws and Stripes, please check out the organization. They're doing something phenomenal. And like I said many times, for a tenth of the cost that the government pays for a service animal for these disabled vets, they can train the animal and the service member and save the dog from the pound. So check that out. Also, we had
stackable heavy-duty plastic containers that are easy to store, easy to transport, and won't be damaged by water or rodents. So if you're worried about food inflation, economic crisis, unemployment, or natural disasters, then don't delay and prepare your family now. Buy your emergency food supply today. Disasters happen. Don't get fooled into thinking that they can't happen to you. Order today and use the promo code E2E and get free shipping and 5% off on every item.
If everything you eat comes out of boxes stored in your freezer, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo. If you're afraid to take out your own garbage because neighbor kids might beat you up, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
Over 50 free training classes are coming to the Self-Reliance Expo at the Hickory Convention Center Friday, September 14th and Saturday, September 15th. Gardening, alternative home building, off-grid living, food preservation, cooking with the sun, self-defense classes, canine demos, and more.
If you can kill a houseplant just by looking at it, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
This event is fun for the whole family and is the largest of its kind in the nation. Learn how to do it yourself. Learn how to defend yourself. Save money. Save a life.
If the only screwdriver you own is made of orange juice and vodka, you might need the Self-Reliance Expo.
It's the Self-Reliance Expo at the Hickory Convention Center Friday, September 14th and Saturday, September 15th. Go to selfrelianceexpo.com for information and tickets.
This is Adam Francis, and you're listening to the Equip2Endure podcast. Your source for outdoor-related gear testing, reviewing, survival training, industry news, and interviews. You guys be safe, and remember, if you're not always prepared, you're never prepared. If you have questions for the Equip2Endure podcast, you can call us at 347-326-9604. That's 347-326-9604.
It is August 23rd, 2012. My name is Adam Francis. You listen to the Equip2Endure podcast, and we're ready to have a great little recall action on the old Bear Grylls Parang. Robbie, you want to start on that one? A little laceration hazard?
Yeah, let's see. The short answer. Gerber made some junk, put a guy's name on it, sold a bunch of them. Now they're breaking in people's hands and cutting up their hands. Did I get the gist of it, Adam? I don't want
a little
to
bit
details.
Now, and let's be fair right now. We rarely, if not ever, never, ever do a negative review on something. All right, if something.
Yeah, we just don't have time.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, there's so much good stuff out there that we want to focus on and bring to you folks out there when we do our gear tests and reviews. But if something is flying off the shelves and it presents a hazard, we like to notify the public, and we've had so many requests for this Bear Grylls stuff. You know, we did our own test and review, and you know, it's not a very solid blade. And now you have these things breaking in half. Basically, right where the blade meets the handle, it's breaking when people are chopping, and it's a laceration hazard. I know there's at least one person that's confirmed lacerations, and there's several people that have reported the breaks. Now, Joe, you've had one of these, and you've not really had any problems, haven't you?
No, I hadn't seen it. I knew that was going to be some place that I'd worry about because that hole right there is so close to the top of the.
Yeah, I remember you said something to me about that at practice you preached a few years ago when you were prototyping one, or you were testing one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a prototype. I just pulled it off the shelf at the Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Yeah.
So you know, that's one thing. I didn't have any problems with it, but I could see it being a failure after multiple smacks.
As a master machete and parang designer yourself, right?
Yes, absolutely. No. They got these crazy machines out there that pick up a machete or an axe, and it measures the amount of times it hits something before it fails. And, you know, that's what a lot of these places, a lot of axe manufacturers and some other places use. And I'd like to put that one that I have in that machine and see what happens.
So for the same price, you can go buy a Village Parang from Condor, and that thing is indestructible.
Right.
Show tonight, Mr. Robert Oliver. Robbie, how you doing?
Man, I really like the way you start with so much conviction in your voice.
Let's make it happen. Speak with confidence now.
I'm doing great, Adam. And you?
You know what? I'm doing pretty well. You know, the day started off pretty rough, but I think it's going to end well. So that's where we go. And then back from the dead, he actually chased a squirrel last week and got hit by a bus. Mr. Joe Flowers.
It was not a bus; it was a bulldozer moving at a very fast rate.
How are you doing today, Joe?
I am doing excellent, and I feel the conviction in your voice has therefore pushed me to have some in mind too.
Awesome. Well, guys, we have a great show today. We'll have. We have Mr. Southern Prepper 1 on the show today, also known as David Kobler, and he'll be on here to talk to us about some great stuff. Of course, he owns Practical Preppers, and also he has a great YouTube channel. He's a fellow YouTuber, and of course, he's one of the brains behind Doomsday Preppers. He's a consultant for that show, very popular show on Natgeos. So we'll have a great conversation today and lots of good stuff. Ain't that right, Robbie?
That is correct, sir.
All right, so what's new? Let's go on. Joe, what's going on with you first? You got plans for this weekend, right?
Yes, I'm going to be doing the Carolina Bushcraft class going on this weekend.
Awesome.
It's going to be a good time. I'm going to be bringing down a whole slew of bushcraft gear, probably all of it, if I can fit it, and talking about bushcraft stuff.
You just have a shelf in your house that just says bushcraft gear. Is it labeled?
Robbie, do I have a shelf?
Adam, if I had, I can't even go there. I mean, I tell you what, dude, just the machete aisle, and yes, I said aisle, it is amazing by itself at Joe's house.
Joe, you are a madman. You're a bad man.
And I don't know how to clean my room, too, so my mom will continue yelling at me every time they come visit.
Awesome.
Hey, I was just thinking with the conviction in her voice, and this is completely off topic, but I just want to get all the fans to work with me here. Who thinks that we should have a Halloween podcast special where for the at least first 30 minutes, Adam, Robbie, and I have to act like Spartans and just scream